So this past weekend, to start off the first quarter of 2023 season, we had the Robot Renegades event at the South Florida Fair. This year was a little bit smaller, but it was actually organized as a tournament. Last year was just an exhibition. It was a really cool, quaint little setup, and it was great to see everyone back there again. We had the old Kurtrax Arena, now the Palm Beach Bots Arena, with the little pit in the corner. So for our first and only fight of the day, we had our fight against Appa. This was the only other registered 12-pounder that made weight. So it was kind of a one and done situation. We both agreed we weren't going to do a second fight because of how damaging it could be to the robots. So I came in really strong right off the bat and got a really good hit. I was like, let's go. And then the robot browned out for a second. I thought that was odd. And then the spinner started spinning down. And I was like, oh shoot, what's going on? I'll show you later, but the wires of the weapon motor actually got sucked into itself. I didn't secure them properly, and you'll see the weapon was spinning up and down and up and down, and yeah, and then it just basically killed itself. It ate its own wires. At this point, I'm just struggling to survive. I have no idea how I'm gonna win. You can see Appa keeps getting really good hits on me, and I don't know how I'm gonna survive all this. It's feeling like the prom head fight all over again. And I'm considering tapping out about here. And then I was like, you know what? I have one fight here. I'm going to go ahead and do what I can and see if I can outlast him. Maybe something will happen. Like, maybe he'll stop working. I just got to see what happens. I have one of the more durable frames out there. I think Prom Head is the first one to really tear it to pieces. And I was like, I think I can handle this. So I kept going in this fight. And I noticed he started driving a little funny about here. So I was able to get a little bit of a pin in. But then he started driving a little bit better. Honestly, I was like, at this point, I was like, geez, what am I gonna have to do? But I noticed that I'd actually hit one of his wheels and pinned it, and hit his weapon upright and shoved it into the weapon, so the weapon was no longer spinning. And unbeknownst to me, he had left his weapon motor on, and it fused the pulley and the belt together, and it just started really draining the battery and heating everything up inside. And he had actually started puffing his battery at this point, and you could see one side of his drive stops working. I think it's because his battery's failing right about here, and I'm able to kind of push him around a little bit more, jockey for position a little bit, and then right about here he has a trouble moving because we were pushing each other, and he's not really able to move out of his own circumference. So at this point I'm like, hey, if I can show movement, I think there's a good almost minute left of this fight. So I just started trying to drive circles around him. I think there was something wrong with the mixing on my controller. It wasn't driving quite straight, but I was like, hey, movement's movement. So they started counting him down. I was ready to go and push him into the wall if I needed to, just in case he came back to life, but came home with the win on that one. So here you can actually see where the weapon wires got sucked into the weapon motor. I'm actually considering switching over to an in-runner so that none of the mass of the weapon motor is spinning, and it's all encased so that the wires can't get sucked in. No matter how bad my wire management is, I just got to keep it away from the pulley and the belt. Here you can see some of the damage that we did to Appa. You can see that the right front drive shaft was completely bent. We actually messed up the wheel pretty bad too, and you could see that the upright was pretty messed up as well. Here's the wheel that we got. In one hit we were able to chunk this decent piece off, and it got shoved into the side. I also just wanted to take a minute to highlight Robert Dubard. He is a really awesome teacher at Ransom Everglades High School and runs one of the best robot fighting schools in the Southeast, probably one of the only ones for the high school level. And they kick butt every single time.
But yeah, that's so clean. Everything's nylon printed, 3D printed and stuff.
This was actually laser cut.
Laser cut out, yeah. Dang, that is so tight.
It's got a belt system on either side, single motor.
Yeah.
This drives the shell. The shell just screws down on there and goes.
Yeah.
And then all of the speed controllers are in this cavity right here. And the receiver, you see the antenna sticking out there.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really tight. Here, hold it up. Hold it up like a proud dad. There we go.
So going from one of the most recognizable teams in the scene to one of the newest, we got to meet the team from University of Miami. They were fantastic. It was their first event out ever, and I got to do a cool interview with them that you guys can check out if you follow the link below. I'm going to be putting that out in the next few days. It was awesome how well they did. They had a couple good fights. They fought French Revolution and almost took out their weapon. And they had another fight against Gallo 12, the owner of which is Andy from Palm Beach Bots, and he's no slouch. And they were able to get a good few hits in, as you can see right here. And it was just really awesome getting to meet these guys. Also, a huge congrats to Buckeye Bot and Horseshoe Havoc for taking second and first in the 150 gram class. Big congrats to Big G, Rougarou, and Kilobyte for going first, second, and third. And for the 1 pound division, Hellfire retained its title. Chonk came in a close second, and Element 115 took third. And with a big announcement, Robot Combat Events announced that now Hellfire is the #1 1-pounder in the world. So congrats to Hellfire and Team Gator Robotics. You guys did a great job this weekend. And I wanted to just say this was a fantastic event. I was so happy we got this group photo with everyone. I was really glad to get to see Team Junkyard Dog and Team Gator Robotics. I think out of everybody, they probably cleaned up the best this weekend. And just really big congrats to everyone to keep the community going. And I can't wait to see you guys next month. I think we have 2 different events, so it should be a lot of fun. Also, a big shout out to Andy and Palm Beach Bots for putting this whole thing on. If it wasn't for him, none of this would be possible. He's a really awesome guy, and he really makes this community something special.